Hi, I'm Nik West, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. Today we are here with Nik West. How you doing, Nik?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's good to see you again and do this follow-up interview. We got together about a couple years ago, I think, and we got the whole great story about you were a little girl in Phoenix, Arizona, and you heard Louis Johnson on a Michael Jackson record, changed your life forever. And that interview is up there. You can go to forbassplayersonly.com, search Nik West, spelled N-I-K West, and that interview will pop right up. But, you know, 2 years could be a long time in the career for Nik West, so I know you've been up to a lot of really cool stuff. Bring us up to date on what's been happening.
Oh, my goodness, a lot of things. I just signed with Spectra Records, which they're the largest independent record label in the world. I was going to go with a couple other major labels, but since they wanted me to just put the bass down and maybe just play guitar and sing, I opted not to do that, and Spectra just let me be who I am and just kind of help with what I'm doing. So that's something new. They're going to re-release my very first album, Just in the Nick of Time, and then release my next album, Say Something. So that's pretty amazing. I've been doing a lot of things with Bootsy which is amazing. I went to one of his shows in I don't know, maybe September, actually July of 2015, and I took him a Kala U-bass. I took him a U-bass and he absolutely loved it, and I think from that point on we just had kind of like a connection. You know, he's gone and watched my videos and said, "You remind me of myself when I was your age." You know, I mean, I was wild and crazy doing my thing. I had a brand. He had, of course, he's, you know, the star glasses and the hats and the just larger than life persona on stage. And I think we kind of relate when it comes to that. And so we've been talking about just doing a project like, okay, let's do an album. Bootsy Collins, Nik West, we merge kind of like the new school with the old school, and then we just make it something great. It just makes sense, right, for us to do it. And so we will start doing that in November 2015.
Excellent. You mentioned the Kala U-bass.
Yes.
Those have caught on like wildfire. I can't believe how popular they are, and some of the most unlikely people that you would think of that love them. I mean, people like Billy Sheehan and Nathan East uses them, and Bagiti Kumalo. Tell me about, because you're funky and you do all the stuff that you do, and you also play the Kala bass. I mean, people, I think at the beginning people had a hard time taking it seriously until they picked it up and played it and said, "Whoa, this is for real." Dave Pomeroy is another one that we talked to. Why do you like the Kala bass? Tell me what you like about it.
I like it because, number one, it's small. I'm a small frame person anyway, and then, you know, taking my basses everywhere, playing them, it just gets to be heavy and hard on my shoulders. So I'm like, well, let me try this little thing out. It's probably going to take some getting used to, you know, adjusting to the smaller frets, but I mean, it's so much fun. I can take this thing anywhere. I take the acoustic style with me everywhere. Take it on planes. I can play it in my hotel rooms, and there's sometimes, like for instance, people like Prince or other artists, they can change the set list at any moment, and it's kind of like, oh my god, my bass is on stage, let me think about it. But I can pick up this U-bass and just kind of work it out in my fingers before I actually get to the stage, and it's just amazing. Like, sometimes I play it in the airport, play it on the airplane, and people are like, "What is that? I've never seen anything like that." Then I have to educate them. So I mean, for me, especially with the they came out with the round wounds for the bass now, which is brilliant. I think just the whole thing, having a bass that sounds like a big bass in a small package is just brilliant. Genius.
They sound great too.
Sound amazing. Sound amazing. Especially if you like upright acoustic, upright bass. They've got a great sound for that. And for me, like, I slap on it too. So I slap on the acoustic one, and
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? I mean, I'm like you said, I'm a funk player, so I try to utilize that U bass with everything I do, and it works.
It's so great to hear about the re-release of of your first records and the stuff that you're doing with Bootsy. There was something else you mentioned last time about working with Nathan East on a project, doing something. I know you have a name for it, East Meets West. I don't know if there's anything else, but what's up with that, and when are we going to see that? Because that would be very cool.
It would be so cool.
He's another Kala guy, by the way.
Yes, I mean, he's just amazing. He's like the man with the most beautiful smile ever, you know? But he came up with that name, East Meets West.
Of course, if you would have come up with it, it would have been West Meets East. But
I think he kind of went alphabetical, maybe.
That must be it.
Kidding, I don't know. But I think, I mean, since the whole Daft Punk thing and his album coming out, I mean, he's blown up even more. I mean, it's kind of like the best time to really just work on this whole collaboration with him. And since he's been touring and I've been touring, trying to work on my whole solo thing, we've both been busy. But every time I see him, like he was the musical director for, I think, a Music Cares Grammy thing. And he was like, I haven't forgotten, we need to do this. So I'm like, well, if you would sit down somewhere. But I'm so happy and excited for all of his new success. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great album he's got. Well, how about the future? I mean, you told me things, you hinted at the East Meets West and a couple others, but do you have any, broad, major goals or plans, projects, I should say, that you would like to tackle? Something must be percolating up there in that brain.
Well, there's a few things. I would say, of course, still working on my solo thing, but Sting. Somebody asked me the other day, okay, you've worked with Prince, you've worked with Bootsy, you've worked with all these people, what's next? And I'm like, that's a no-brainer, Sting. I mean, when this record label said, okay, as a bassist, we want to make you really commercial. Like, we want to bring you out as, like, the girl that plays the bass and super commercial. But nobody's done it. But when they said the name Sting, I was like, yeah, so it has been done. So that means
it can be done.
It can be done.
Exactly.
So we'll work on that. And he's just been like on my, I'm just like, I have to work with Sting. I just have to, like, just learn from him.
I have a feeling you will. That'll happen. I interviewed Leland Sklar a couple times, and he's a very easily recognizable guy because of that beard. Had to ask him about that beard. You're pretty easily recognizable, too. Do you want to tell the folks the story about your hair, if there is one? Were you born that way?
I was born this way, just like Lady Gaga said. No, but really crazy story. I was looking for something different to do with my hair. Dave Stewart said, maybe you should shave your head and do something and dye it platinum. And I'm like, oh, like Annie Lennox. And we both laughed, and I'm like, I don't think that shaving my head would be the best thing for me. I don't know if I have the head for that. So I saw this purple hair in my hairstylist's bin, and I said, let's try the purple hair. And she's like, purple? You want purple hair? That's I don't see you with purple hair. And I'm like, well, that's all you have, so let's try that. And we tried it, and the photographer took the photos, and we looked at the photos and said, oh my God, that's the shape of a bass clef. And when I posted it on Facebook and on my website, everybody was like, we love the hair. So it just stuck. I love it too. It's great. And I think that's just...
It might look good with a raspberry beret. I think we better stop now. Always a great time catching up with you, Nik West. Thanks so much. I'm John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.